Hi and welcome to today's video. This is going to be my June update for Welcome to the Hellmouth Project Pan. This project was started by Jalon and obviously is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer themed project. I am discussing different seasons of the show in my updates for this project. Unfortunately, I'm out of sync. I missed an update, but there's one more update than there are seasons, so hopefully this will be the only, or last month will be the only month that I missed, and I'll be able to keep going like this. So where everyone else is an update ahead of me, but I am going to talk a little bit about season 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and why I love it, and then we'll get into the makeup of it. Obviously other Fantastic Ladies members are updating today, and I look forward to seeing other people's updates. It's a really fun project and so well themed, and Jalon picked out great prompts, so looking forward to talking about all the makeup in a few minutes. Season 3 might be my favourite season. It's hard because there's so many wonderful things that happen in the later seasons that high schoolers just couldn't do. So, you know, there are things I love in all seasons of the show, but season 3 is fantastic. You have all those key, you know, final year of high school events that, you know, so many TV shows and films have, and they're so well done in the show. And that classic Buffy thing of making the monster of the week reflect ordinary issues that ordinary teenagers will be going through is done so beautifully and so well. As Snyder says, couldn't you people just be doing drugs like normal people? And I think it's all done so well. So I have some stuff below. We get some new characters this season that I love. Faith, obviously. I think Faith is just such a well done character. I wish they got into her character a little bit more, but I think she's so well done and very cool, and I just love the idea, you know, she doesn't have the support in her life that she needs. Then she had this watcher who meant so much to her, and then, you know, we don't even hear the details of her watcher's death. The way she describes it is they don't have a word for what they did to her. So she's absolutely traumatized by that. She doesn't have the support she needs. And then things go wrong for her. And, you know, Buffy tries to be some kind of support for her, but Buffy's just another teenager. It would have been great to see, you know, Giles or Joyce or the Watchers Council stepping in and trying to support Faith better, to hopefully avoid some of the issues that she then faced. But then also I love the idea of, you know, a Slayer going bad and all of this kind of thing. I think it's very well done. So love Faith's character. And then we also have Anya introduced, and I definitely took time when I first watched the show to warm up to Anya, but I think she's a great character and so well done. And this, you know, very direct, straightforward thing, you know, the role that Cordelia's character has played of kind of calling people out and things like that is so well done, and having it in the magical context of she's a 1,000-year-old demon who doesn't understand modern human ways or whatever is so well done, and I really enjoy her character. We get to do fun things with her, especially, you know, in these very early stages where she's horrified to have been made human. So I really love the introduction of both of those characters and think they add a lot to the show. I wish we got more into Faith, but I love that they are significant characters that do stay with us throughout, and I think they're really special. Some of my favourite episodes do feature them. I didn't really pick a super Faith heavy episode in my favourites. I really like Faith and some of the episodes are great, but it's tough competition in this season, to be honest. My favourite episode is definitely Doppelgangland. It's so well done, and, you know, there's the photos from on set when they were filming, and it's like Alison Hannigan and then like 5 body doubles and stunt people and stuff all dressed in the different outfits, and it's just more Willow is all I could want, you know. I don't have a pink fuzzy jumper, but I wore one of my fuzzier jumpers that I own in tribute to Willow. Real Sunnydale Willow in that episode. She's my fave. She's the absolute best. And then my other favourite episodes of the season are Band Candy, The Wish, Anne, Gingerbread, and again, the season finales are something special. Graduation Day Part 1 and Part 2. Anne is a little bit of an exception to the others. All the rest heavily feature a spell, and then obviously Graduation Day Part 1 and Part 2 are their whole own thing, and really, you know, bump it up in terms of seriousness of what Buffy can do and what they can face and stuff. And I think it's really great, you know, getting other people on board. And, you know, the scene in the prom when Buffy's being awarded the class protector and people shout out, hyena people, you know, things that have attacked them but that they have noticed, and then that Buffy showed up and saved them, and people did notice that even if the town doesn't talk about it. And obviously Gingerbread, the whole episode kind of runs away with that idea of, oh, the town are going to start talking about it. Of course, it's a demon manipulating them, but it's so well done and I love it. And I like that kind of more people getting on board, because really, how long could you keep this whole thing a complete secret from everybody? You couldn't. So it's nice to, you know, not just have our heroes whispering about it behind closed doors, but have more people get involved in the plan to defeat the mayor at the end of the season. Obviously The Wish, Band Candy, excellent. Just so fun to see the actors doing completely different things than the usual. And, you know, The Wish, to see, you know, Buffy as an individual, you know, she'd still be a great slayer, etc. if she'd moved somewhere else, but she wouldn't have survived the Master if she didn't have a friend. She wouldn't have come up with these plans to save the world time and again if she didn't have a support network. And, you know, it's just so in contrast. We see Giles and Oz and a few other, and what's his name? I've forgotten his name. Larry, and some other girl who is not a regular character, fighting vampires on their own without Buffy, and that's really dangerous and terrible, and they keep getting killed and stuff. And then we see Buffy on her own, and she can't stand up to strong forces like the Master on her own. So that's the contrast of our normal Buffy universe, where she has support, is that she wouldn't be as strong. So I think it's great to see that, and in a really fun, magical way, in the form of the vengeance wish that Cordelia makes. And then Anne is a big contrast to all of those fun spell or magic themed episodes where Buffy is on her own. And there, I think you get to kind of see what happened in the finale of season 2, where she catches the sword and tells Angel, you know, when you strip it all away, it is just me. And just her is extremely powerful. And then she just literally makes a connection with one other person, and is helping that person to find their boyfriend, and winds up helping that person actually to kill the big demon and taking down the whole thing. Now, I don't think it's done perfectly, but I think it's really a nice little mini universe that we get into there, and taking it down and having an episode where Buffy is off on her own and kind of finds herself again and makes the decision to come back home, I think is really useful. And that doesn't all just kind of happen off screen, which would be something that TV shows would do a lot if they'd have a big dramatic season finale where somebody left town. They might just have that person come back somewhat randomly, and I don't think that's great. I think it's great to kind of go on the emotional journey with Buffy, as we do in this, where she's, you know, literally using a different name. She's going by Anne, her middle name, also my middle name, great middle name, and then, you know, finding herself again and saying, no, I'm Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have to go back to the Hellmouth and help fight and be with my friends and my family and fight evil. So I think that's really great. So I love season 3, and you should go watch it. And Band Candy might be the most fun episode, but it's all great. It's all great stuff. I've mentioned also some uplifting moments. The biggest one I'd say is Buffy getting that Class Protector award. But I also have some favourite quotes. and one of them is from Willow. At the very, very end, Buffy and Willow are talking about, you know, where they're going to go to college, what they're going to do, and Willow says that she's choosing to stay and go to UC Sunnydale, and she says, and I just realised that's what I want to do, fight evil, help people. I mean, I think it's worth doing, and I don't think you do it because you have to. It's a good fight, Buffy, and I want in. And obviously, we saw in like the very first episode of Buffy, she's kind of trying to fight against this whole destiny that she has of being the Slayer, and it comes up many, many times that she wants to do a normal thing. She wants to go to prom. She wants to go to a party. She wants to have a normal high school experience, and that's definitely a theme we have in this season. But Willow's right. She doesn't just put that aside and fight evil because she has to. She does it because that's the right thing to do. And that's what we see in Anne, where, you know, somebody needs her help and she helps them, even though she's taken away, step away from all of that. When someone really needs her, she goes and fights for them and goes looking for them and, you know, defeats this whole horrible demon society that was kidnapping people in the process. And it's just brilliant. Some of my other favourite quotes, it's a lot of Willow and Oz, and it was Oz last season as well, but they say good stuff. As Willow goes, so goes my nation. That could sum up my whole perspective on Buffy. Love her, best character. The bee's knees. So, now to get into the makeup of it all. So I've got some fun updates. I hit a few goals this month, and actually we might start with Willow. Given she's been a theme of the season recap. So I pulled Willow as a prompt last time, and I decided to pick this Nabla side-by-side palette as a product that puts a spell or casts a spell on me, because every time I see swatches of this stunning palette, I'm just like, oh my god, what is that? I want it so badly. And look at this Magic Moment shade, like, so pretty. So I decided to do this as like a no pan left behind thing and used every shade once. And I basically did very easy, you know, this row, this row, this row, this row, 4 different looks. Really enjoyed it. I even did use a little bit of the black, which I was saying I would allow myself to not use the black if I didn't want to last time, because it wouldn't be my normal go-to. But I had fun doing a more dramatic, cool toned look with it. So it's really easy to do this. Obviously, beautiful neutral palette. Such a nice variation of formulae, so you can kind of have a bit of fun and do some interesting things. So I had loads of fun with that. Cast a spell on me all over again, and that's my first goal hit. Next, I'll go to something I'm still working on. So I also last time pulled Angel as a prompt, an item I have a complicated history with, and I decided to pick the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. So I'm doing the same with this, of no pan left behind, using every shade once. I'm about halfway through. So the fact that I had 2 kind of medium-sized neutral palettes at once with this, I prioritised one over the other. So I'm about halfway through the shades on this, still a few left to go. I've yet to use these cooler toned shades for a more dramatic look, but I'm looking forward to giving that a go. And I used Bliss on Saturday actually as the focus of my look and really enjoyed it. So I won't have as many photos with this palette as I did with the previous one, but I might stick a picture in from Saturday, because I do love Bliss. I think Bliss is a stunning shade. So another goal hit. I may be dead, but I'm still pretty. Definitely a top quote from season 1. For this I had the Laura Geller highlighter in French Vanilla, and it doesn't maybe look like all that much, but it's just this subtle, beautiful highlighter that I think is very natural and works very well. So it was really easy for me to use that 13 times, which I did. Next up, The Watcher, something I'm still working on. So this is that I need a guide on how to use it. I have the salicylic acid from Penny's. I've used this, but I haven't used it a lot. So my aim is to finish it. I'm down to just about where the top of the white is here. So I obviously still have a huge amount left to use, but that's fine. I'm going to keep ticking away on that. Next up is the key, an item that is key to your makeup routine. I have oily skin. Powder is key to my makeup routine. I was using this Becca, sorry. Hydro Mist Set and Refresh Powder. And you can see we had a line here and now it is all gone. Totally empty. So that is another goal reached. I like the powder. I'm not sure if I really had enough of it to be able to say like this is the best powder in the world. But it doesn't really matter because I can't get it anymore because Becca doesn't exist. So I will say I love the packaging and I will put other loose powder in here if I want to travel with loose powder in the future, because obviously it's a much smaller container because it was a mini, which is handy, and that it is refillable because of the net is pretty handy. So next up is Magic Box, a magical themed item. So I don't have this physically because I just couldn't put my hands on it. Let me see if I can find it now. No. This is the Colourpop It's a Princess Thing palette, and I'm trying to use the shade Fairy Godmother 13 times. I have used it twice. I didn't start using it until very recently when I went to Disneyland because I wanted to take photos. I'll put one in here of the palette in front of the castle in Disneyland, and I wanted it to be in pristine condition. So bad excuse, but 11 more uses to go. I love pink, I love shimmer, won't be a problem. So, you know, still working on that one. Next up, Faith, a product that was once good but is now evil. Was Faith ever evil, or just did she need more support? So I have hit my goal on this of 13 uses. I'd say I've well exceeded that. I didn't track every single use, you know, once I'd hit my goal. This is the from Penny's PS My Perfect Colour Concealer Stick, and I got this because Robert Welsh said it was good. It won't extend it. So this is why it's evil. It is so broken, so badly broken. So I have a replacement, but I haven't opened it yet. So I'm still able to use it, but eventually the really broken packaging is going to start annoying me so much that I won't use it anymore. It was definitely sticking up a good bit more when I first started, put it in the project, and it's basically flat with the packaging now. So I am very happy with that. I'm going to keep using it. I love this, but I do have other concealers in my Partners in Cream project, which I'm still doing, even though haven't been updating recently, but hopefully I'll update that next month. So happy enough to move this out of this project, and I've definitely hit it well in excess of 13 uses of it. It's a lovely concealer. The packaging is very annoying. So if you have patience for crap packaging, absolute, and you see this in a shade that might work for you in Penny's, pick it up because it is €1.50 and pretty good. So next up is Mr. Pointy, a product that you sharpen. So this is what I have on my lips today. It is the Essence Stay 8-Hour Lip Liner in 01 Curious, and I am aiming to use this 13 times. I've used it 6 times. I was about to swatch it, but you can see the colour on my lips, so I don't need to do that. It's nice. My only thing is if I'm wearing warm toned eyeshadow, I don't want to wear this. Sorry, an airplane is going over. And I had called to use warm toned eyeshadow in this project, and I often kind of think of one project pan when I'm putting my makeup on and kind of pick a few items and use them all together. So I might use, you know, that eyeshadow palette and this concealer and this highlighter all in one day, and then I think, oh, maybe I'll wear this, and then I'm like, nah, the colour doesn't go at all. So that's kind of negatively impacted my use of this, but I do really like it, and I definitely have found it handy to just wear a lip liner all over my lips and have that last a bit longer. Has been working out well for me. So I've used it 6 times and I've got to use it 13 times, so nearly halfway through my uses of that one. Next up is another one that I don't physically have, and it is Buffy, a badass product, and I was using the Batiste XXL dry shampoo, and my goal was to finish it. It is finished. I threw it away, so that was a mistake. I forgot about it. I forgot about the need to update about finishing it, but the can is, you can't see through the can anyway, so it wouldn't have been very interesting. Anyway, finished it. It's fine. It's very intense, and it actually is, you know, it gives you volume, which is nice, but it is quite intense, so it wouldn't be like your standard just, oh, give it a little spritz and mush it around a bit and then it'll be fine. Like, no, you have to like work on your hair for 20 minutes after you've sprayed it to blend it all in and things like that. So next up is Once More with Feeling, an item you love so much that it could make you break out in song. So for this, I thought about the Zoeva palettes, the old Zoeva palettes that I absolutely love and could definitely sing about. And I picked Zoeva Premier and the shade Magisterial Vibrato, which is this very, you know, easy breezy brown shade here. I have used that 8 times and I've got to use it 13 times in total. The only issue is with this is that I'm kind of forgetting to use it, and you know, I'm using another palette and it has a brown shade as well, so I just forget to reach for this. So I've tried to keep it out and use it a bit more, and that's going well. It's a great shade, great palette, great formula, not a problem at all. I'm just still working on it. Next up is Scooby Gang, an item that never lets you down. Again, I don't have this physically. I think it is in work, which is bizarre, but I sometimes paint my nails in work. This is what the packaging looks like, though that one is much more empty. So my goal is to use it 13 times and I have used it 8 times so far. It's a beautiful nail varnish. I would highly recommend getting it. Actually, any of these Catrice More Than Nude translucent effect polishes I really like, but that shade Dancing Queen is the most intense, and it's a beautiful top coat. Highly recommend it. And then finally, the Slayer, a product that slays, and I thought this spoke for itself, though I say finally and I realise I've forgotten one. Anyway, I thought it spoke for itself to have Becca Champagne Pop as this. So this I have 5 uses out of 13, so I'm kind of struggling with this. The reason is, this is a warm tone highlighter. The Laura Geller that I hit goal on is a warm toned highlighter, and the one I forgot, the palette that I'll talk about in a second, also has a warm toned highlighter in it. So I just had a lot of warm tone highlighters, so I wasn't layering them on top of each other. So I love this, and now that we've hit summer and I finished my uses, my goal use on the Laura Geller one, I will prioritise this Champagne Pop. It's so pretty. It's just so pretty. And you can see there, I'll redo the Laura Geller one just to make sure it has a fair shot, that it's much more kind of obvious than the Laura Geller, but they're both stunning. So looking forward to using that 8 more times, which won't be a problem, certainly in the summer months in particular. And then the item I skipped is the trio. So we're about to meet the trio now as we go into season 4. And for this I picked the Zoeva The Basic Moment blush palette, which has a blush, highlight and bronzer. The highlight is warm toned, so that's kind of been holding me back on the other 2, because if I'm using this I obviously just use that. So I have used this, let me see, 8 times out of my goal of 13, so still working on it. One thing I will say is the blush is very cool toned and the highlighter is very warm toned. I would usually pair a warm toned blush with a warm toned highlighter, so sometimes I'm kind of using it and then I'm like, I'll just pick out a different highlighter like this that I have in my Pan of Green Gables project, which is cool toned highlighter from Catrice. So I haven't always been using all 3 products at once, but when I'm in a rush, a face palette that has everything I need and I don't have to waste time opening and closing a bunch of different compacts, that's what I want. So big fan of that and happy to still have it in the project. So now I am going to roll my replacement prompts. Let me see, how many do I need? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and figure out what new products I'm going to put in this project. Okay, so I have pulled my 5 prompts to replace the items where I hit my goal. And the first one is, I have my glasses on because I have to read from the screen. And it's just better if I have my glasses on. So apologies for any reflection, and apologies if the light is going behind me. It is getting later in the day. So the first new prompt I pulled is, in every generation there is a chosen one, a powerful item. So I talk a lot about how I have very oily skin, so I need foundation to be powerful to stand up to that. So one of my favourites is the Catrice All Matte Plus Shine Control makeup. And I've got this in 010 Light Beige. The shade actually works quite well for me, mainly because it's so neutral. It's probably not quite light enough, but it works really well. It's not what I'm wearing today, but my aim is to use it up. As you can see, there's like maybe a third left, or a bit over a third, and we're in the middle of the text of matte, and I would aim to finish that. I could possibly do it in a month, but I've actually mostly been wearing powder foundation because it's been quite warm. So we'll see how it goes. Next week I'm on late shifts though, so it won't be as sunny. So I might be more into wearing liquid foundation than I have been recently. So this is something I found to be powerful, and I'm going to use it for this prompt. They have reformulated this, and I think it now has niacinamide in it, which I would be interested in trying, but I'm not going to buy a new one until I finish this one up. So for the next 4, I've gone for a theme, so I might read through them all and tell you what I've picked and then show you at the end, or I'll see how I'm able to work this. So the next one is the bronze, an item that reminds you of a song, musician, band, or makes you want to dance. So I more so just went with the theme of the bronze, and I have picked the shade Save the Dance from Sydney Grace. So it's this pink shimmer here, and I'll swatch for you. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll swatch them as I go. And this is what that shade looks like. It's stunning. Look at it. Absolutely beautiful. So I've been going for goals of 13 uses generally in this project because there are 13 main characters. Personally, I think 13 uses is too high for a single shadow, especially when I'm so overwhelmed by eyeshadow. So I was thinking a smaller goal, and I'm going to go for the goal of 4 uses to represent our 4 main characters. So in that, I'm counting Buffy, Willow, Xander, and Giles, our 4 mains, and I think everyone would agree with that. So I want to use this individual shade 4 times, and I'm very excited to do that because look how pretty it is. So the next one is Sunnydale, a yellow product, or something that has yellow packaging. So I have a couple of things with yellow packaging, but not loads. So I thought, oh, a yellow eyeshadow, and I've gone with single shadows for all of these next few prompts. So for this I have Dirty Yellow is what Google Translate tells me it means, from Glam Shop Poland. It doesn't seem to be available on their website anymore, but you can see swatches of it still as a comparison in some of their other yellow shades. So there you can see it's a matte yellow and lives up to the name Dirty Yellow very well, and I think it's lovely. And again, my goal with that is 4 uses. The next prompt I picked is Passion. It rules us all, as Angel says, or Angelus rather. Passion rules us all and we obey. An item that exemplifies your passion for makeup, skincare, beauty. So for this I picked a very special shadow, and this is another Glam Shop shade, and it's called Sweet Hollow. And I'll show you now, like just from swatching, I've disrupted the pan there and you can see it on my finger. I want sparkly rainbows on my eyes. I want beautiful shiny things on my eyes. That is my passion for makeup. So I think this shade, look at it. So special, so stunning. Now, these shades can be tricky. Look at this disruption. This is going to fall all over the place now. I'm going to try and like pat it back into the pan. It's very flaky and kind of falling apart all over the place. These shades can be tricky, but when I want to play and invest time and get creative with my makeup, that's the kind of thing I want to be wearing. So I think it fits the theme perfectly. And again, goal of 4 uses, as with Sunnydale. And then my last one is the Potentials, an item that you haven't tried yet but has potential to be amazing. So unfortunately, I haven't tried a lot of my single shadows yet. And for this, I've picked the shade Decorative from Glam Shop. I love a light shimmer, and I think it can just be so stunning and reflective, and obviously it can be a great inner corner with other shades being the main focus of a look as well. So I think it definitely has potential, and that's it swatched out there. So these are the 4 single shades I have picked, with a goal to use each of them 4 times. I've put some other kind of random mattes that I think might help me to use these shades, but obviously I can also pair them with palettes. I'm planning to definitely do some, you know, inner corners with the yellow, and lower lash lines with the yellow and things like that, because I think it's so fun to use a matte yellow in that way. But it could also be a crease shade and do an all yellow look, or more focused on that kind of shade look. So I'm excited to try these out and give them a go. Sorry, I'm kind of covering my eyeshadow completely with my glasses. But yeah, so you could pick 4 whole eyeshadow palettes for these prompts, and I've only picked 4 individual shades, but I think I've got enough eyeshadow to be juggling in the project as is, and in other projects indeed. So I am very happy with that. There was something I felt like I wanted to talk about in relation to the TV show. Oh yes, just I have caught up completely with the wonderful podcast Buffering the Vampire Slayer, and they're now midway through season 7. So I have done my rewatch all the way through already, and I'm kind of rewatching the season, rewatching the season 7 episodes as their new episodes launch every other Wednesday, and I've been really enjoying it. But the whole project has inspired me and just gotten me thinking about and enjoying, you know, the vampire-based TV shows of my youth again. And I've gone on to do a full rewatch of Angel and listen to episodes of Angel on Top, the sister podcast of Buffering. And now I'm midway through a full rewatch of The Vampire Diaries, and I'm listening to the podcast The Empire Diaries, which is done by the people who do Angel on Top as well. So I'm having great fun and just really enjoying it. So if you want to talk more about teenage vampire drama and the fun and hijinks of all of that, I would recommend all of those sources greatly. And looking forward to the next update. I'm going to continue now, hopefully from today, to be on time with these updates and not let them slip again. I really enjoyed this project. I'm happy to have, you know, a clear function to each update, whereby I'm talking about the seasons as well as the makeup updates, because just with the nature of my shift work and things, I'm not necessarily going to be able to use this even just 4 times, you know, a special beautiful shade like this that takes a bit of work to put on in the next month. So sometimes I feel like I haven't got a huge amount to say in my update after just a month, but having the theme of this project and the focus of this project that I've decided to have for my updates with discussing each season is inspiring me to want to stick to the monthly updates from now on. So I'm really hoping to do that, and I'm looking forward to watching everyone else's updates this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I don't have anything obvious in front of me. I do, never mind, to do my little bit at the end, because fun bits are part of the joy of fighting vampires as a team with your slayer at the forefront. Because if you're not laughing and joking about it, you'd be too sad about the potential end of the world. So I'm going to end with my fun bit. Bye. Thanks for watching. Grr. Arg.